Grace Mugabe in South Africa, diplomatic crisis and international law in action. In August 2017, what began as a private family dispute in a Johannesburg hotel quickly escalated into an international diplomatic crisis. Grace Mugabe, then First Lady of Zimbabwe and wife of President Robert Mugabe, was in South Africa, while her two sons were staying at a luxury hotel in Sandton. Late one evening, a confrontation erupted between Grace Mugabe and Gabriella Engels, a young South African model who had been in the hotel room with the Mugabe sons. According to Gabriella, the situation turned violent without warning. She alleged that Grace Mugabe entered the room carrying an extension cord and began striking her repeatedly. The assault left Gabriella with visible injuries to her head and body, and photographs of the wounds soon circulated in the media, drawing national and international attention. What might have been a straightforward criminal matter quickly became entangled in politics and diplomacy. Gabriella opened a case with the South African Police Service, accusing Grace Mugabe of assault with intent to cause grievous bodily harm. Civil society organizations, including legal advocacy groups, began to monitor the case closely. Many saw it as a test of whether South Africa would uphold the rule of law when confronted with the actions of a powerful foreign figure.
Grace wouldn't have vowed that she must invoke diplomatic immunity.
The South African government found itself in a delicate position. Grace Mugabe was not in the country on an official state visit, yet Zimbabwe argued that she was entitled to diplomatic immunity as the spouse of a sitting head of state. After consultations and political pressure, South Africa's Minister of International Relations granted her immunity under the Diplomatic Immunities and Privileges Act, allowing her to leave the country without facing arrest. Within days, Grace Mugabe departed South Africa on a government aircraft, returning to Zimbabwe. Her exit sparked outrage among many South Africans who believed the decision undermined equality before the law. Gabriella's legal team, supported by civil society groups, challenged the immunity decision in court. The High Court later ruled that the government's decision to grant Grace Mugabe diplomatic immunity had been unlawful and unconstitutional. The judgment emphasized that she had not qualified for immunity under international law in the circumstances of her visit. The ruling was widely seen as a victory for the principle that no one is above the law.
Zimbabwe, Grace Mugabe is now a wanted person. A warrant for her arrest has been issued by South Africa following the dissolution of her diplomatic immunity by the state's prosecuting authority. She's facing charges of allegedly assaulting Gabriella Engels, a young model in an hotel in Johannesburg last year. The former First Lady had defended herself, saying it was an act of self-defense, describing the model as intoxicated at the time of the alleged attack. She was later allowed to return home after applying for diplomatic immunity. However, that immunity was overturned by a court this year after she said the victim challenged the decision. The police say they are seeking Interpol's help to enforce the warrant.
The case sparked broader debate about the balance between diplomatic relations and individual rights. For many, Gabriella's experience symbolized the struggle for equal protection under the law, regardless of political status or nationality. The Grace Mugabe incident thus became more than a single assault case. It became a moment when international law, domestic politics, and the demand for justice collided in full public view.